Nigeria is beautifully lined by rivers connecting places and people. With increased pressure on road transportation, water commuting has become a popular alternative. But this is perhaps the riskiest mode of transportation in the country today. There have been several reports of boat accidents with hundreds of persons killed. In this story, Just Nigeria's Ayuba Iliya explores why Nigeria's 3,000 kilometers waterways have become death trap of some sort to commuters.
At least 54 bodies have now been recovered from Nigeria's River Niger after a boat capsized in the early hours of Friday, the authorities say.
Amid the pressure on road transportation, water provides an alternative means of commuting in Nigeria, but it could be a death trap.
About 20-something people lost their life. Only 11 of us were survivors.
Government's efforts to safeguard Nigeria's 10,000 kilometers of inland waterways predates independence, yet safety on waterways leaves much to be desired. It's a market day in Kacha local government area of north-central Nigeria's Niger State. Cramped in this fabricated wooden boat, traders arrive in droves from far and near, some traveling through the night for as long as 6 hours to get here. Here, safety rules are thrown to the wind, as many struggle with the harsh realities of survival. It was this market some 200 people were coming to when their boat capsized about 2 weeks ago. At least 50 of them reportedly died. For many here, traveling under such conditions is the norm.
If we don't use waterways, we can't go out. Motorcycles and motor vehicles do not get to my community. In the past, the rivers didn't dry too much, but now there's plenty of sand-filled areas along the path.
Zakaria Usman, a boat operator, says there's money to be made, but at a huge risk.
We have so many people and goods coming to the market that sometimes we have to ask some people to wait for another market day. Some boat operators left the business due to the risk and cost of maintenance, so few of us still try to avoid overload. We require life jackets and dredging of the river for accident-free waterways and for officials to regulate the sector.
Boat mishaps are a frequent occurrence in riverine communities in Nigeria, but many of these communities are inaccessible except by water. Muhammad Kudu was a boy when he first witnessed a boat mishap.
The engine ran into a wood, sharp wood, beneath the river, and that make water to escape to the inside the boat. So gradually the boat was sinking beneath the water. So people above the palm oil drums, gallons of oil, luggages of passengers, and human, whatever we have, everybody scattered on the river, surface of the river. Everybody was just finding his or her way to escape. Eventually, many people lost their life. In that, about 20-something people lost their life. Only 11 of us were survivors.
While Muhammad lived to tell his story, many weren't so lucky. Data by Marine Craft Builders Association indicates that Nigeria has recorded 3,310 boat mishaps in the last 10 years. This has been attributed to poor safety standards on waterways such as overloading, night travels, lack of life jackets, water snacks, among others. Nigeria has 215 billion cubic meters of surface water, including the River Niger and River Benue, which flow into the Niger Delta. Of the 10,000 kilometers waterways across 28 of Nigeria's 36 states, only 3,000 kilometers are navigable. Despite several agencies operating in the maritime industry, authorities are unable to enforce safety regulations on Nigeria's waterways.
Because there are no regulations, you can discover that some boat, or the one that they call speed boat or whatever, engine boat, that is meant for 20 people carrying 50 people. So in the case where there's a wave or something, it's going to capsize.
The National Inland Waterways was set up to, among other things, provide alternative mode of transportation for the evacuation of people and economic goods. After 2.5 decades, the agency recently unveiled the Waterways Transportation Code.
We inaugurate 80 water marshals. Those water marshals are people that will supervise, then will take charge to enforce the rules and regulations from that transportation book.
But experts say monitoring Nigeria's 3,000-kilometer navigable water would require more.
They need to be equipped. They need to be financed. They too needs to the one that does not involve funds, which I'm sure their local allocation can do. They need to take this sensitization to the villages, to the boat owners, and to check the boats.
Nigeria's 1999 constitution, as amended, vests the powers to manage and control water resources on the federal government, making it impossible for states to oversee the sector. In Lagos, Nigeria's commercial capital, the water transport system is evolving. Authorities say the sector recorded a 55% increase in commuters in 3 years, with 21.8 million passengers in 2023. Major Fodu Olusoji is chairman of water transporters in Ikorodu, on the outskirts of metropolitan Lagos. He says at least 600 passengers rely on his terminal daily.
I can remember that we used only one boat to convey passenger from Majidun, that time down to Lagos Island. So as time goes on, we now see that the patronage have increased a little bit. We source for another fund to get another boat.
In 2008, the Lagos State Assembly passed a legislation for the creation of a state waterways regulator.
Lagos is an aquatic city surrounded by water, where pretty much 1/5 of Lagos is made up of water. So the state government, in ensuring that it can harness its natural resources, decided to set up Lagos State Waterways Authority as a regulatory body to see to the development of water transportation in Lagos State.
This is Ikorodu Ferry Terminal, one of the terminals built by the Lagos State government. Hundreds of residents commute from here to different parts of Lagos State daily. The Lagos Waterways Authority says its lifeguard corps has at least 103 personnel to ensure safety rules are enforced in all the jetties.
And we realize that there are always common denominators that cause these incidents. One, late night trips, or secondly, just carelessness on the parts of the boat operators a lot of the time. So what did we do? We decided to introduce what we call a biannual inspection of the boat operators twice a year.
But along with government's responsibility to ensure safety of lives, a collusion over revenue drive between state and federal regulators is threatening the efficiency of the sector. After a legal battle over legitimacy, the Supreme Court in January 2024 held that only the federal government can impose levies and issue licenses to operators in the industry through the National Inland Waterways Authority. Local boat operators like Suleiman Idris say the safety of commuters remain a priority, but insist government intervention is urgently needed.
We have a few challenges with passenger overload. The high cost of fuel is making it difficult to make gains, except when we take extra passengers. The second challenge is the presence of water snags along the waterways. Thirdly, we are requesting life jackets because the few government has given us is not enough.
Nigeria's inland waterways offers opportunities for economic growth, but industry players insist that government needs to make adequate investment that will guarantee significant commuter safety. Ayuba, Iliya, Gist, Nigeria.
Well, safety first and always. Will you be taking a boat ride this holiday season? Share your safety plans with us on X at Gist Nigeria TV. We'd like to hear from you.